We're going to go through a rising edge example. We've got an input that goes from the off position to the on position, and we want it to kick something off, some series of events off. Maybe you've got a momentary button that you've pressed and you want that to cause something to happen. That's a scenario we're dealing with here. In our case, we're going to wait for that rising edge to occur, and then we're going to turn on output for 3 seconds, and then after that 3 seconds, it'll turn back off, and it'll just be hanging out waiting for the next rising edge of the signal. So the thing we need to know here is the signal currently on, and was it off last scan? And the way we do that is we have to keep track of what the input was last scan. So I'll go ahead and we'll use this input bit C1, and I'll create a new tag, last scan. It's a bit. And so the question I'm going to be asking is this bit on, and was last scan off? And if so, if both of these are true, I'm going to go ahead and do something. As always, we're going to use a state machine here. So I will cause my state machine to go to state equals 1 in this case. So we'll go to 1. I have to create a new variable for a state machine. We do have a tutorial on the website about state machines if you're not familiar with them yet. So if that's true, then we're going to go here. And now I'm going to create my very small state machine here. If state equals 1, then we're going to do a few things. We'll start a timer. Created a tag for that. And then we need to, since we're going to use this over and over again, we need to assume that the timer's been counting up, so we need to go ahead and clear the timer first. We need to advance our state to the next state, and I think that's about it for this particular function. So I'll do Control-C, I'll copy that up there. So I think I said I need to move to the next state equals 2, and clear my timer. Oh, our whole purpose of this state machine is to turn on an output. So I need to turn on an output, which you can do that by just copying a 1 to an output bit. Okay, so we do that. And then we got state equals 2. And for there, we're just going to be hanging out. I think I said 3 seconds, so we'll ask if my timer is greater or equal to 3 seconds. If so, we will we'll be done with our state machine. So we'll just bring it back to 0. We don't need to worry about the timer, and we'll be turning our bit to 0. We're turning it back off, our output. Okay, so I've got those. Now, you'll see that we've got this copy statement we made early on, and we need to wire, we need every scan to end by going to this block. So at the end of each scan, we need to be recording the previous scan's input value, so that we'll, actually I'm not quite doing that right. Okay, so yeah, at the end of each of these scans, we'll go ahead and copy the last value. Another thing we'll do here is, this isn't completely needed, but just to make it a little more polished, we'll set a state equal to 0 to begin with. And when your program starts out, it will be equal to 0, but we'll just clearly lay it out here. Okay, and we'll form a big loop here. And one more thing. Okay, so what happens here is it starts off in state equals 0, and it's going to be asking, okay, is the signal currently on? Was it off? If so, do this. But initially, we'll assume that that's not the case. So it'll fail out of one of these steps, and it'll go here and it'll ask, is state equal 0? No, it's not. I mean, is state equal 1? No, it's 0. So it'll be false. So it'll go here. Is state equal 2? No, it's not. So it'll loop here, and it'll just record the scan value into the last scan. It'll loop around. It'll keep doing this until finally you hit a rising edge. The state of the input is on. It was off. Now we're going to go ahead and copy 1 into state, and then it's going to jump down here, and is state equal 1? Yes, it is. It'll start the timer. It'll reset the timer. It'll turn on the value we were wanting turned on for 3 seconds, and then it'll go here and it'll record the last scan again. It probably didn't happen again, so it will in all likelihood go down to scan equal 2, because at the end of this scan equals 1 we set the state equals 2. So now we're asking, is state equal to 2? Yes, it is this next time. And is my timer greater than or equal to 3 seconds? Probably not. Certainly not the first scan. Many scans after that. So it will fail here, and it'll keep hanging out here until finally 3 seconds have elapsed. And then it'll go here. It'll set the state back to 0, and where it's kind of just hanging out. And it also turns on or it turns off the output bit that we were working with. So that's a simple example of rising edge, doing something based on a rising edge.